How is trapping used in a street fight? Let's get started. Hey guys, my name's Sean Elders and this is Pinnacle Combat Arts. Like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the bell so you can be notified every time we get a new video. Today we're going to be talking about how trapping is used in a real street fight. It's always about context, isn't it? Because trapping, what is trapping? Trapping is just simply to immobilize a hand, to remove it out of the way, to hit the target, okay? Trapping is a certain range and it's a certain pressure. This is a very important part of what trapping can be. Trapping can be used in the traditional fashion, when we think of traditional fashion as in Wing Chun trapping, okay, is where, or it could be inside of boxing range. So when you look at Panantukan, we may immobilize a hand or remove a hand for a moment so that we can create a new line of attack. So that's the confusion. A lot of times I see sometimes Wing Chun practitioners, they get confused about what trapping is and what it isn't, because they are just used to learning about trapping inside the Wing Chun structure, the Wing Chun construct. Okay, but trapping really is about how do I remove a limb out of the way. And in street fights in today's world, why would we use trapping? Sometimes in a street fight, you will never use trapping. Okay, it is a skill that you need to have, because sometimes two people, they haven't decided to start swinging yet. They haven't decided to start grappling yet. They are in the middle of a confrontation. One person may grab, one person may push, one person may put their hands up. They might start to tangle and try to gain some level of power over the other person. Okay, that is all it is. When you pay attention, it's very important for you guys to watch street altercations going down, because you can start to have an understanding of how trapping would be used and how it would not be used. The problem is people put too much emphasis on trapping, especially Wing Chun practitioners. Why? Because their curriculum is based on trapping. Everything's in trapping range. But the problem is that some people can stay outside of that range and use boxing or kickboxing to maintain that distance and overcome their opponent. And so it's important that you understand when and why you would use trapping, okay? And what is this? Why would I know? Well, I've trained military, law enforcement. I've been doing martial arts for 42 years now, 42 years. And my training in the working with military is over 25. Training the military, you have to be able to help the student or the soldier be able to understand pressure and how are their structures supposed to be. Why are they doing it? In street fights, the altercation looks like this. Come on in here. If her hands are up like this, and all we're doing is we may be struggling like this. You see, we may just be struggling. And so how do I move these hands out of the way to get to the computer? Okay, that's the way I look at it. So that's how we have to look at this, is that it may be that she may push at me, okay, and I have to redirect her. It may be that she grabs at me and I have to get out of it. It may be that I do something towards her and she pushes, okay, and we're in this moment. This is where these things can take place. It may be that she starts to go for a double leg takedown and I go into this position. As soon as I go like this, she has a choice. She either has to back out or she puts her hands up to my arms and she comes into this position now. And so now I have to navigate and figure out, where am I going to go from there, right? That's what we have to do. And so, thank you. And so now what's very important is that you get an understanding of what it is and how it should be. How should it be? How should I train my trapping? Your trapping should be based on what reality is today, okay? Does it mean that you need to go through all the trapping sequences that are in Wing Chun or Choi Li Foot or jung fan jeet kune do. No, you don't need to do that. There's trapping systems from praying mantis style to, I mean, it's endless, all the trapping styles of hands, okay? From all different systems. Filipino martial arts, same thing. The important thing is that you can find and develop the skill of sensitivity, and that's where sensitivity exercises that you see inside of Chi Sao, Lop Sao cycle, Pak Sao cycle, all the different ones that you see inside of this, the sticky hand. And then if you look at Filipino martial arts, you have Hubad and vertical gunting, Hubad, and all these different 2 for 2 and all these different things that are different variations of what I call practicing sensitivity exercise. These are sensitivity exercises because you need to feel where that person, when they make contact with you, where is it going to go? And that to me is one of the most important things. The context here is that I mentioned something about boxing and how boxing has certain trapping too. That is a different pressure. And the thing is that some styles, they don't know anything about trapping in the boxing structure. Some people don't even understand what boxing structure means. Boxing structure means that you're no longer squared up like this to somebody and doing a Wing Chun position or your whatever style of position, okay? You're here, your shoulders are 45 and you're in a boxing structure like this, okay? And when I'm in this structure, where does the trapping come in now when I'm doing this? Well, if somebody brings their hand out, I can redirect that hand for a moment, okay, in one way, shape, or form, and then I can create an opening and then I get past it. Because some people, they like to use their hands to defend. They like to cover up. They like to, and then sometimes the best way, always first, is to slip, duck, bob, and weave, okay, and use footwork, okay? So trapping, as soon as somebody starts to move away and use footwork, the trapping goes away, okay? But there are moments in time when somebody's really trying to drill you that you can use a boxing structure to do your trapping. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about the difference between those ones. When we're in our trapping range, the thing that you need to understand is, like I said, the difference between, and what's funny is I did a trapping video way back, maybe 2 years ago, and I got criticized by Wing Chun practitioners because they were saying, oh, you need to have pressure. Yes, you need to have pressure to do a Wing Chun style trapping. Yes, okay, that is true. But there is what we call boxing structure. And there is what we call boxing pressure too, where I move in and I'm coming here and I'm moving and I'm giving her something and she has to get out of the way. What's got to take place is, okay, so as soon as she comes in like this, she may parry hard. If she parries to a certain distance, I can come in and come past that for a moment. Even though we're going like this and I'm boxing, she puts her hands up, she's defending like this, okay? Boom, see that? See, I got her right there? And that was just a little slap boxing right there. And that's how I would move in and take that moment, okay? That's what we're talking about, okay? But it's important that you understand that you have to have boxing skills, okay? Boxing, so your basic trapping that you would see would be like this. I would go like this, and I come in and I'm staying in this position. But that sometimes is going to be fine because that's where altercations start. So let me show you the difference between it. So if she comes to grab at my neck, for instance, and I go like this, and we're stalemate to this position and we're struggling, this is where trapping can take place, okay? I can remove this out of the way. Look, did a little tan sao, and then I can come in with a palm strike if I want to. If she traps that, I can do a hoon and come in, and then that's where I can blast. If she stays positioned, I can blast. But if she doesn't stay positioned, guess what? She moves back. I can't do blasting like this anymore unless I do the 50-yard dash. And she still can get out of that. Why? Because it depends on how good her footwork is. It depends on how much pressure I gave her when I blasted, okay? And the other part is that this is where, in Bruce Lee, this is where you go into boxing. Because if I can't blast her if she's moving back too fast or she moves off to the side, but I can start to use these open positions here to throw boxing, okay? And so your ability to be able to move in and out, in the next video we're gonna do some exercises where we where I show you in and out, how to move in and out, and going from trapping to boxing, boxing to trapping, and being able to do that, because in a real street fight, okay, not play around in the dojo, okay, real street fights, it's pressure, disengagement sometimes. Pressure, disengagement, high levels of pressure, no disengagement, okay? Sometimes it stays standing, sometimes it goes to the ground. And you need to be able to adapt in all those different situations. So if for instance, if we're struggling like this here, I'm able to either move one of these hands, whatever hand pushes, that's where I would go. I would allow that to move over. Look, I got a little bong sao, I got a little tan sao. I can, go into a lop sao, for instance. But she's gonna go and stop me, and then I can headbutt and I can knee, and that goes outside of something, boom. And I can start to use these other variations where I need to be able to find where this thing is, and she's gonna stop me, see? And as soon as I start to throw a punch, she stops me like this, and that was too late, and then I go here. And that's the whole thing, is if I, like if we do, for instance, Filipino martial arts, and I do Pikita Tersha, and I backhand like this, look what she just did. She put both hands on one, okay? I clear that, and then boom, look at that. And I can come in, I can go, but guess what? If she moves her head back, I may not be able to, and she moves back, I may not be able to necessarily be able to do a straight blast, for instance. So I will go into my boxing structure, and if I've got good footwork and I'm going forward, and I'm making sure that I have really good footwork, that's the whole key to this whole thing, is footwork, pressure, understanding distance, and understanding how to make sure that you maintain that pressure as you attack. And this is something that is, in my opinion, I see it all the time. They don't really understand how street fighting really works, and how you have to be able to have really fast footwork, and you have to make sure you're getting there. It's hard to do it in the camera, but it's important for me to coach you guys, at least, in showing you exactly what we need to do. So the other one would be that she grabs me when we're in the struggle like this, okay? And me being able to just untie, see that? I broke this little tie, and then I could come in with a strike. Sometimes in street fighting, you don't want to use your knuckles. You might want to use palm strike, okay? She may defend against that. I can ride right up that arm, and this is where center line in your Wing Chun practitioners, this is where you guys would thrive for a moment, okay? Because you would be able to maintain that structure. But as soon as she moves and uses her footwork, okay, and she moves off, now what's going to happen? I have to be able to have explosive footwork. You can't maintain this type of, this kind of thing and do that. And that's very important, okay? I know it's going to get some people upset. Well, I could do this, and I could do that, and I could do this. But the real truth is it doesn't matter what you could do, it's what you do in a fight that matters, okay? And this is the whole thing that bothers me, or it's something that it's an obvious issue, because you see these top practitioners from these different styles, they're not doing it. They're not doing it, and they're supposed to be the best, right? So you have to practice based on what today's issues are. Back in the day, they would be in these real crazy, real wild, nice, beautiful movements that are from Kung Fu and stuff like that, from different styles, that are beautiful, but they're not today's fighting situation. And I don't even know if I want to say evolved, because I think the old Kung Fu styles are beautiful. Evolved when it came to the efficiency of combat, okay? When it comes to the beauty and art, I like the old stuff just for the beauty and art of it. And I can do that, and that's where the context goes. Martial arts is not always about just combat. It's also about just enjoying your life and enjoying the beauty that is in a certain culture, a beauty in certain techniques and different things like that. That's okay, as long as you're not going, well, this is gonna take care of everything, and this is gonna be the best, this is the best, and this is gonna solve every problem. No. So have that balance. There's a balance here. Do a style because you enjoy it. I like Iaido and Kenjutsu, and I practice it quite a bit. And I love doing it for my own, not because I think I'm going to be getting into a samurai battle with other samurais. No, because I enjoy doing it. I love martial arts. I enjoy martial arts. And I'm trying to share that knowledge with you, but I want you also to have some accountability into what is and what isn't, okay? This is the thing that it's so important, because our movement and how we're able to execute techniques are gonna work or they're not gonna work based on your timing, line formation, footwork, structure, all those things. Your ability to be able to adapt to a person's attacks and be able to, how are you able to counter them? And if you're not practicing that in live motion where somebody's actually throwing punches at you and you're sparring and it's not pre-rehearsed performance, okay? That's what I'm doing here. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to educate you. My job, I have no interest in showing off my skills. I don't want anybody to know what I could do. It's none of your business. Just like what you could do is none of my business. What's important is that you grow from this. That's what this channel is about. This channel is about growth. It's about taking the information that I give you and start incorporating it into your daily training, okay? Not to be entertained. Go to some other silly channel for that. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to educate you, okay? And so keep that in mind when we're doing this. So we have, when we're talking about trapping and when we want to incorporate, for instance, a Wing Chun style trapping, it is because somebody comes into our close range and it is center line energy, okay? But if somebody does a wide technique like this and you think that you're gonna be able to do a Buda, okay? And they're a boxer, you may be able to do this, but guess what? That other hand is already coming over the top and hitting you. And you can watch a million different videos of hundreds of videos on guys that are proficient Wing Chun practitioners that get their heads knocked off, okay? That's the truth. That is the truth. You are not going to be able to do that. You cannot do a Buda against an overhand against the boxer. If that person's untrained, yeah, it may work. I mean, it's fine. You might get that first one, but all the other hands, ba. That's why all these block and strike techniques do not work. Where does Buda work? Buda works inside of trapping range. This isn't trapping range. This is striking range. Trapping range is where now we're shoulder to shoulder and we're pressured up like this. Now, if I go and I strike and she's attached to me, yeah, that'll work, okay? But it's not gonna work when two people are boxing and they're doing this kind of thing. No, because I'm gonna be moving my hands so quick, you're not gonna be able to go ha 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 ha. You're gonna get your head knocked off, okay? And that's the real truth of it. You have to have an amazing amount of timing, which is Matrix type of stuff, the movies, okay? It's just not realistic. I'm trying to get you more accountable to what you're actually doing, okay? When somebody does something, you have to have these other structures. If I'm at this distance and I try to move to go into wing, to a trapping range, and they do an overhand, okay, they're gonna move. They're not gonna stay in place. They're not gonna let you do your moves and stuff like that, and they're gonna be coming around all over. That's what a combination is. A combination is throwing strikes from all over the place. And if she stays in a Wing Chun structure like this, okay, and I'm a boxer, and look at me, I'm way out here, okay? And you can watch it all day long, and you see Wing Chun practitioners. I've got video that I found where they're just barreling, the other person's barreling over the top, and there's no more Wing Chun going on. There's no more Wing Chun structure going on. That's gone, okay? So when we're trapping, it's just these moments like this, and then I go right into boxing like this. Boom, 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 okay? Then there is where I'm out in boxing range, where I call this boxing range, where I'm just right outside that jab, outside what we call the pocket. The pocket's the Wing Chun range, right? Okay? Where she may throw a punch, and I do a Pak Sao Sitsao, right? That works. Boom, bam, just like that. Just like that. That's a trap, because what's happening is I'm preventing this hand for a moment, a microsecond, to be able, I'm redirecting that hand out of the way, and then I'm striking the face. Same thing with the other hand. I come in and I'm striking to the face like this. You see? This gives that time, and you do the same thing in Panantukan, okay? I could do a little, like I could swing it out big time like this, or I could do a small swing out like that. This is called Puglibud, okay? Waslick, yeah. So waslick, and I could overhand like this. I check that hand, bop, 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 and I'm coming in with all these different angles, just like this, see? And I'm coming in and I'm leaning, I'm using my boxing structure to do it, okay? And that is the difference between trapping, okay? Because guess what? If a person's like this, you do not want to wait for a trap and then strike. The only time you're going to do that is if as that punch goes out and as it retracts, you're able to trap that hand for a moment, but that hand right there could come right over the top, bam, and knock you out, okay? And that's the whole thing. I could go like this, bam, and she throws that hand, okay? And I've got to be able to figure out a way to keep that from coming in, right? You have to be quick enough because they may go pop, pop like this, and you're trying to trap the first hand when they're throwing a punch and knocking you out with the second hand. So I want to keep that in mind when we're doing this. This is super important. So trapping can be done at a boxing structure. It's a different type of pressure. And then there can be pressure in basic trapping, okay? Where you're learning how to, and she's pushing on me, okay? Do it on both sides, outside like this, okay? And I just redirect that movement so that I can pick that up. I'm just using pretty much the same technique in this video over and over again so you guys can practice this yourself. And see, I can lop here, but see, she's gonna check that a lot of times, okay? And that's where I can slide that hand in to go to the eyes. But guess what? This shot right here, boom, that is gonna be one of the best shots you can do, or a headbutt. This is gonna be the best shot you can do. And that's not the, this is, you're coming straight in, you're driving that bad boy right to the chin, knock him out, boom, knock him out, okay? So anyways, I'm trying to be real with you. That's the information. Keep that in mind when you're practicing and train based on that. I'll see you guys next time. Go to our website, pinnaclecombatarts.com. There you will find more information about our online courses and how to get started today.